There's a place where the laws of physics bend before your eyes, where the ground beneath your feet glows like liquid starlight, and where reality itself seems to hold its breath. Beneath your feet, the earth itself seems alive, glowing softly like liquid starlight. Locals call it the door between worlds, but scientists know it by another name. Deep beneath New Zealand's North Island, thousands of living lights turn limestone caverns into an inverted night sky. These aren't stars, they're living creatures known as Arachnocampa luminosa, the glowworms of Waitomo. In December 1887, Tani Tinarau and English surveyor Fred Mace built a raft from flax stems and drifted into the darkness. What they saw stopped them cold, a sky of living light shining from the stone above. The ceiling above them erupted with thousands of pinpoints of light, like someone had torn a hole in the cave roof to reveal the cosmos beyond. Beneath their raft, the reflection shimmered like a second sky. It was a galaxy hidden beneath the earth. Each of these tiny lights is alive. A glowworm larva hangs from the cave ceiling by silken threads, using its light to lure prey from the darkness. What looks like beauty is a trap. This is the light that hunts. The glow these creatures create isn't magic, it's chemistry. Inside their tiny bodies, a reaction converts waste into light with perfect efficiency, releasing no heat at all. Scientists call it bioluminescence, living light, nature's most elegant energy. To the flies below, these glowing ceilings look like a way out, a passage to open air and starlight. But what they chase isn't the sky, it's a trap of living threads, spun by creatures that hunt with beauty instead of teeth. The glowworm's light reveals more than beauty, it reveals need. The hungrier they become, the brighter they burn. A starving larva blazes like a star in the dark, its hunger made visible as living fire. Even in total darkness, this cave never sleeps. Thousands of tiny lives shimmer in unison, their light painting a sky that never sees the sun. Beneath the earth, night is eternal, and it glows. Millions of years ago, this place was the floor of a shallow sea. Layer by layer, water pressed its memory into stone, until the earth rose and rivers began carving these halls of light. Every droplet still remembers. In December 1887, two men stood at the threshold between worlds, Maori chieftain Tinarau and English surveyor Fred Mace. Together they built a raft of flax and ventured into the dark, carrying only candles, courage, and curiosity. Their raft drifted deeper into the earth, candles trembling against the darkness, each sound amplified by stone. They could not yet see what waited beyond the next bend, but they could feel it, a living light breathing just out of reach. They drifted deeper into the earth, the silence so complete it pressed against their hearts. Then, above them, the ceiling came alive, a galaxy of living stars suspended in darkness. For a moment, believed they had found the edge of heaven itself, hidden beneath the world. As their raft drifted deeper into the silence, understanding dawned. These were not stars at all, but living lights, tiny creatures suspended in the dark, spinning threads of brilliance to lure the lost. Tana Tinarau and Fred Mace had not merely found beauty, they had uncovered life itself glowing in the depths of the earth. Within a year, Tane and his wife Huti began guiding others through the hidden world they had found. By candlelight, they drifted beneath living constellations, sharing the wonder, the silence, and the sacred light that had once revealed itself only to them. For decades, Huti Tinarau became the cave's quiet guardian, the keeper of the living light. She welcomed each traveller into the darkness, her lantern guiding the way, her spirit keeping the balance between reverence and revelation. The glow above was nature's gift. Her care ensured it would never fade. Time began to shift, the sacred became shared, and the guardians became teachers. At the meeting of sunlight and starlight, Tane and Huti passed their duty to new hands, turning reverence into stewardship, and a hidden world into a sanctuary for all who sought wonder. By the turn of the century, word had spread. People travelled from oceans away to drift beneath the Earth's own stars. Lanterns became their guide, and silence their language. Each tour was a ritual of light and stillness, a fragile meeting between humankind and the eternal glow of life itself. In the years that followed, the guardians of Waitomo opened their sacred world to travellers. Each visitor stepped into a realm shaped by light and patience, guided not just by lanterns, but by those who had tended this wonder for generations. In this quiet exchange, the caves became more than a destination. They became a bond between cultures, between guardians and guests. As the world of science found its way underground, curiosity met reverence in the half-light. Researchers came not to conquer, but to understand, to measure the glow, to name the unseen. Yet even as they took notes and gathered samples, the mystery of the light seemed only to deepen. For every answer, 1,000 new questions began to shimmer in the dark. At last, the light was given a name, Arachnocampa luminosa. What seemed like magic became a species, a fact, a point of study. Yet the naming did not strip strip the wonder away. If anything, it made the mystery more intimate, a living thread of light, bound not by superstition, but by the laws of life itself. Each glowworm hangs its silken snare, a forest of invisible traps, spun not from hunger, but from design. Every thread a promise, every drop of moisture a mirror for the light that lures. In the darkness, beauty and danger are the same thing. Within the glowworm's tiny body lies a map of survival, enzymes, oxygen, and waste combining in perfect balance to create living light. No heat, no waste, only efficiency. Its evolution distilled to its most elegant blueprint, life teaching itself how to shine in the dark. In the dark, a quiet miracle unfolds. Oxygen meets enzyme, waste becomes light, and chemistry turns into choreography. Every flicker, every pulse, is a perfect conversation between shadow and survival, written in the oldest language of life. It waits in perfect stillness, a predator made of light. To the prey, it looks like the night sky, a promise of escape. But every shimmer is a snare, every sparkle a signal. In the darkness, deception wears the face of beauty. The feast begins not with violence, but with radiance. The glow intensifies, a silent celebration of survival. Light devours life, and in return, life learns to glow brighter. It's a cruel elegance, the cave's quiet law written in phosphorescent ink. The hungrier the creature, the brighter it burns. Each pulse of light is a message, a signal to the living, a whisper of need. When the cave darkens, it isn't empty, it's waiting. The hunger glows on, echoing through stone and silence alike. Above them, 1,000 living stars burn in perfect silence, each glowworm a tiny sun, each reflection a universe reborn. Here, deep beneath the earth, the night sky is not above, it's all around you. The living constellations breathe, shimmer, and remind us that light is never still, like even in the deepest dark. In this place, reflection is not illusion, it's revelation. The light above is the same as the light below, and between them flows the quiet breath of the earth. For a moment, the cave ceases to be stone and water, and becomes a bridge between worlds, one seen, one felt. Long before explorers brought candles into these depths, voices already echoed here. The people who first named Waitomo knew it as sacred ground, a place where the living and the ancestors shared the same breath. Every droplet, every glow carries their memory forward through time. The cave remembers, the light remembers, the river remembers what the earth forgets. Every drop has travelled through centuries, carving stone, shaping passage, carrying whispers of those who once stood where we stand now. In this moving mirror, time flows both ways, past and present meeting in a single breath of light. There is a silence here that feels alive, not absence, but presence. The air itself holds its breath, as if listening. In this stillness, you begin to understand. Wonder isn't loud, and magic doesn't shout. It waits, patient, ancient, eternal. Listen closely, and the stone begins to speak. Each curve, each ripple carries a voice, not in words, but in time. These walls have heard every secret the earth ever whispered, every prayer left behind by those who passed through the dark. The cave remembers more than we ever could. Long before electricity, before the hum of science and tourism, others stood here holding fragile flames against the dark. These lanterns were their stars, trembling human light in the endless night, and though centuries have passed, their glow remains, not in fire, but in memory. Here, between stone and water, two worlds meet, the seen and the unseen, science and spirit, human and earth. The bridge is not just rock, it is memory, belief, and wonder made solid. To cross it is to step between what we know and what we still dream to understand. Light does not truly die. It lingers in stone, in water, in memory. Every glow that fades leaves behind a trace, a whisper of its warmth, a pattern etched in the heart of the world. And so, what was once a cave of light becomes a cathedral of remembrance, where darkness is not an absence but the echo of all that once shone. Here, the earth builds its own cathedral, not carved by human hands, but shaped by the patient breath of time. Every pillar, every curve, every echo is a hymn to creation itself. In this vast silence, even light becomes reverent, and those who enter carry its memory long after they leave. The cave sings, not in words, but in rhythm. Every drop, every echo, every tremor is a note in the oldest song the earth has ever written. Stone keeps time, water carries the melody, and light is the breath between each verse. Those who listen long enough begin to hear themselves in the song. Here, the sky turns upside down, the stars live beneath your boat, and the heavens rest in the water's skin. It's a world inverted, where light rises from the dark, and the earth dreams of constellations. In this silence, you forget which way is up, and remember only that wonder has no direction. To the eye, it's only light, but to the cave, it's language. Every pulse, every flicker speaks of hunger, of patience, of survival. The glowworms do not see their light as beauty. It is a message, a signal written in silence, a story told only in luminescence, and we, for a brief moment, are allowed to listen. Scientists call it coincidence of rhythm, but perhaps it's more. Each glowworm pulses to its own hunger, yet together they form patterns, as if the darkness itself were conducting them. It is a conversation without words, where life and light speak in waves of quiet intention. A luminous dialogue between survival and wonder. Evolution leaves its signature not in stone, but in light. From the oceans of the past to the darkness beneath our feet, life has written its story in chemistry and patience. These creatures are living blueprints, proof that even in the absence of sunlight, nature still finds a way to glow, to adapt, to speak the language of survival. Before science had words for it, the Maori saw the glow as the breath of their ancestors, the light that guided souls through the underworld. Today we call it bioluminescence, the chemistry of survival, but here, in this sacred dark, the two meanings coexist. The light remembers, and through it, so do we. The walls remember. Every carving, every shimmer of light carries the memory of both stone and life. What began as ancient art has become a living record, a language written by nature and preserved through time. Here, the glowworms do not just survive, they archive the evolution of light itself. Time lives here, not as seconds or years, but as rhythm. Every pulse of light marks a breath of the earth, every shimmer a moment carried forward through stone and silence. The glowworms do not count time, they become it, and for a heartbeat so do we. The cave remembers. Every drop of water carries a trace of what once lived, every shimmer a reflection of time passing through matter. Here, memory does not fade, it flows. The glowworms write, the water speaks, and the earth listens. What we see is not light, it is history, moving. As they watched, the cave revealed its secret, a map written not on paper or stone but in light itself. Every passage, every drop, every glowing thread was part of one living network, the Earth's own memory, illuminated. What science saw as data, the ancestors saw as spirit, and here both were true. In that moment they understood, the cave was not just stone and water, but a memory system older than history itself. Every flicker of light was a message, every pulse a connection across time. The ancestors had mapped their stories not in ink or bone, but in living energy, and now, for the first time, it spoke again. The cave began to whisper, not in words, but in frequencies of light and tone. Each pulse was a story, each shimmer a memory. Science could measure the vibration, but only silence could translate it. The ancestors had found a language that needed no tongue, a luminous heartbeat that spoke directly to the soul. The light spoke again, this time in images. Every glow was a memory, every ripple an echo of those who had walked, sailed, or dreamed beneath this earth. The cave had become a choir of time itself, singing through stone and shadow, a living reminder that nothing luminous is ever truly lost. The cave began to breathe, each pulse of light a heartbeat, each whisper of air a sigh of the ancient earth. In that rhythm, life and memory became one, a reminder that the world itself is alive, and we are only ever listening to its pulse. Then, as if the cave had merely been dreaming, it wakened. Light surged through the stone like thought through a sleeping mind, veins of living memory stretching deep into the earth. For the first time, they saw it not as a cave, but as something alive, vast and endlessly awake beneath the world. And then, the cave began to sing. The glow of the living light became vibration. The vibration became harmony, and for a moment it was as though the entire world was breathing in tune. Every flicker, every echo, every heartbeat, part of one vast song of awakening. And then it came, not a sound, but a pulse, a rhythm deep enough to shake the air itself. In that moment they realized what they were hearing wasn't just light or vibration, it was the earth breathing, the resonant heart of a living world. And in that moment, the cave was no longer just stone, it was a living network. Each glow, each vibration, each ripple part of one endless rhythm. Science called it resonance, the ancestors called it harmony, but both meant the same thing, the living earth remembering its own song. The light began to speak, not in words, but in patterns, shapes of meaning older than sound, older than thought. It wasn't a message to be decoded, but a song to be understood. The earth wasn't silent, we had simply forgotten how to listen. It was no longer just a sound, nor a light, it was rhythm, the heartbeat of the world beneath us. In that pulse, science and story, memory and matter became one. The cave was not answering us, it was including us. At the center of the earth's silence, the light breathes. Every pulse, every thread, every shimmer of life is part of this same rhythm, the luminous heart that beats beneath us all. It has never stopped. We simply hadn't learned to listen. And then, the earth exhaled, through stone and river, through every thread of living light, the planet breathed once more, as if remembering itself. Each pulse, each shimmer, was a heartbeat shared by everything that has ever lived. Across miles of stone and time, the light began to move, connecting chambers long divided, veins long forgotten. The Earth's hidden network stirred like a vast living memory, each pulse a thought, each shimmer a whisper of awakening intelligence. At first it seemed random, just light, just rhythm, but patterns emerged. The pulses were not chaotic. They spoke in repetition, in symmetry, in a cadence that felt intentional. The Earth was not silent. It had been speaking all along. It had simply forgotten how to listen. The light began to sing. Every pulse became a note, every shimmer a breath in the endless song of the living Earth. It was not a melody of chance, but of memory, of language older than speech, older than time. Here, beneath the surface, the Earth remembered how to speak and how to sing once more. And then, the cave began to breathe. Not stone, not silence, but life itself. Every pulse was a breath, every shimmer a heartbeat. In that moment, we understood the Earth was not asleep beneath us. It was alive, whispering in rhythm, exhaling light into darkness. Harmony, ancient and eternal, had found its voice again, and from the breath came awakening. The rhythm moved outward, from the heart of the cave to the forests, from the rivers to the sea. Every living thing answered, as if the Earth itself remembered its song. Across continents the light travelled, not as a miracle but as a message. We were never separate. We were always part of one vast living network, now, at last, awake. And so the rhythm became music, a symphony written not by hands but by life itself. Every wave, every breath, every heartbeat joined the song. From the smallest spark beneath the soil to the roaring tides of the sea, the Earth sang in unity. For a moment beyond time, everything alive, past and present, remembered that it was one. And then, as softly as it began, the light returned to the Earth. The glow dimmed, the song fell silent, not lost, only resting. In the hush that followed, the world seemed to breathe again. The wonder does not vanish, it merely waits until we are quiet enough to see it once more. In the quiet that followed, the light found new keepers, not in stone or flame, but in memory, in the hearts of those who would listen. The guardians remained, eternal as the stars above them. For every generation must hold the light, protect it, and pass it on, so that wonder never fades, only changes hands. Light does not end, travels, transforms, remembers. From the heart of a cave to the breath of a star, it carries the story of all that ever lived, and as long as someone listens, the glow endures. A silent song moving through time itself. In the heart of the Earth, light learned to dream. It rose through stone and silence, through water and time, until it reached the eyes of those who dared to look. The glowworms will fade with daylight, but their memory endures. In the shimmer of rivers, in the pulse of every living thing that hungers for wonder. Perhaps the world is not waiting to be explained, but remembered, because even now, in every hidden place where light meets life, the Earth is still whispering its oldest story, the one that begins in darkness and ends in awe.